Welcome to Tanya Today. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Tzrichim Kadeshim, Baruch Hashem, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. We say good evening to TJ in Melbourne, late or early morning. John in North Carolina, shalom. Diane is with us in Arizona, good morning. Robert, shalom to you in Boston. Michael in Germany, welcome. Mark, thank you for joining. Galise in Georgia, shalom. Clem in Brisbane, Australia, welcome. Also, bright and early. No, it's not bright and early, it's very late. Davida and Liba in New York, good morning. Anna is with us also in New York. Erica in Norway, shalom. June also in Australia, good night. Jean in Pennsylvania is with us. Lisa in South Africa. All right, welcome. Greg and Paula in Bakersfield, California, welcome. Bright and early. Andrea in Phoenix. Rena is with us in Colorado. Boker Tov. Eugenia in Calgary. Welcome. Tim in Texas. Natine in Canada. Julie is with us in Florida. David in California. Miriam in Hayden, Colorado. Good morning. Katie, welcome in Texas. Marilyn is with us in Delaware. William in South Korea. Oh, okay. It's been a while. Welcome back. Alice in Baltimore, welcome. Ruben in Connecticut is with us. Maya, shalom. Adam in Indonesia, shalom. Maria, shalom. Who else do we have with us? We have Clubhouse. We have Vilma. We have Batcha with David. Marcy, Celeste, Aliana, Tim, Selena, Andrea, Adam, Boss. Instagram, we have Andy, we have Curox. I think I pronounced that wrong. Andriane, Antitelabenta, Alisa, Akoi, Linda, I think. All right. We do today chapter 5, which will bring a conclusion to an understanding of the godly soul, at least the first part of understanding the godly soul. We've spoken about the godly soul, that it comes as a part of God, not a creation of God. Chapter 2, a chelik, part. Chapter 3, it has 10 components to it. 3 intellectual, that are mothers that give birth. 2 doubles, emotions, 7 emotions. And then in chapter 4, we spoke about levushim, garments. It's the garments that make the man. Garments, thought, speech, and action, because those are the things we could choose to put on and off. The godly soul wants that the thought, speech, and action should be engaged in Torah mitzvahs, and through that, bound up with God. As we explained at great length, the uniqueness, and as we explained yesterday, the divine embrace, that we embrace God literally through our Torah study, through mitzvahs, and as opposed to a ray of light of God, which you will get in Gan Eden, in the Garden of Eden, in the world to come. Now we continue in chapter 5 to bring out more explanation, Tosfos Beer, greater explanation, and the idea that we can't grasp God except through Torah, as we explained at great length in chapter 4, right? That through Torah, God gives us access to Him, not just His knowledge, not just an array of knowledge, not just, some light that He throws our way, but He gives us access to Him through the study of Torah. So we need to understand, what does it mean, this idea, more deeply. Now that I've explained this, and when you have an idea, and he gives an example from Torah, you're learning something, and your mind encompasses the Torah teaching, whether it's here from Tanya, or as he says, a particular halacha, or a Mishnah, or a piece of the Talmud, whatever. He gives an example, if there would be a dispute that the Talmud is speaking about, two disputants, and you're now examining that teachings in the Talmud. So first your mind is grasping the idea, encompassing it. And then at a certain point, when you become a little understanding it, and you're going into greater depth of the argument and the debate back and forth, the argument now becomes encompassing you. The teaching becomes encompassing you. And then finally, when you really have it well understood, your mind is grasping, is encompassing the teachings. And what is it encompassing? The will and wisdom of God. Even if it's a particular teachings that may never come to fruition. The law is not something that will ever happen. That is irregardless. Why? Because it's the teachings of the Torah, therefore it is the divine wisdom and the divine will of God. So now that you have encompassed that, it's encompassing you, you're encompassing it. In other words, the teachings takes you over, and you take the teachings over, in the sense that you are taking it apart and understanding it detail by detail. Both things are happening at the same time. Both things are happening at the same time. Now that it says that this is the most wonderful unity. In the physical realm, there's no unity similar or parallel to this. Two things that are as disproportionate, the human intellect and Torah, God's intellect. And yet, they are completely, one second. Sorry. Yet, at the same time, they are completely united and bound up as one. From every angle, from every side. There is nothing like this in the world. Even when we fulfill a mitzvah in the unity and the oneness with God, as we explained in chapter 4, if you recall, it meant that God is encompassing you. He's embracing you in the act of a mitzvah. His light, when you are engaged in giving charity, prayer, whatever it might be, in giving it your all, heart and soul, then the light of God encompasses you head to toe. But that's head to toe, and that's like a garment. Just like a garment is not in the person, but it's of the person, encompassing the person. So that's what a mitzvah does. But Torah knowledge is grasped from within the mind. We comprehend it, we grasp it. Each person according to their capability in Pardes, in Pshat, Remez, Drush, and Sod, in the orchard of Torah, the simple meaning, the hinted meaning, the homiletic, and the secrets of Torah. And as a result, that Torah knowledge, that Torah divine wisdom and will of God is absorbed within our brain. And therefore, Torah is called lechem, food for the soul. A mitzvah is not called food for the soul. A mitzvah is on you, not in you. Food is something in you that nourishes you. Just as physical bread nourishes the body when it's ingested and absorbed within the body. It becomes the food transformed into your blood that gives you life and sustains you. So similarly, the knowledge and the comprehension that we have of the Torah, that the soul has when it's studied, when it's got to be studied properly, that you get it, right? That you're focused and concentrating and getting it, to the point that the Torah is grasped by the mind and becomes one with the mind. Therefore, Torah becomes food for the soul. It becomes its inner life. Because remember that Torah is God's wisdom, but that wisdom is one with God. The fountainhead of life, the source of that wisdom. So therefore it's giving us literally life. And this is what King David says in Tehillim, in Psalms, that your Torah is in my innards, in my inner parts. Meaning, again, that it is absorbed because the mind grasps it, it's grasped by it. It's a perfect unity that doesn't exist, not in a mitzvah, not in any other way. And because of that, Talmud Torah Keneged Kol HaMitzvahs, that the study of Torah is equal to all of the other mitzvahs combined. Now, Torah also has the quality of a garment, just like every mitzvah does, because it's also a mitzvah to study Torah. Here we're talking about the grasping and the knowledge of God. And the garment element of Torah is when we express it orally, not just that we grasp it, but we express it orally, like I'm expressing it. That gives it, a physical quality to it, in the fact that it's being expressed with the mouth. So Torah has these two qualities, both food and garment. It is absorbed within us, so it becomes one with us. So let's unpack this powerful idea, very powerful idea. The Torah study, what we're engaged in every day together, is God's vision becomes my vision. His wisdom becomes my wisdom. I'm absorbing His divine intellect in a way that it becomes a part of me. It becomes my flesh and blood. It becomes my soul. It becomes my very perspective as a result. When you think about it, that's like phenomenal. That we are little finite beings, and God allows us, through grasping His divine intellect that is infinite, Remember in chapter 4 we explained how he condensed it in the infinite into finite 613 commandments, and that when we grasp and we get it, we understand, like we're doing in our hopefully learning right now together. It's food for the soul. And perhaps you sense that also because just like food for the body gives vitality, so food for the soul also gives us vitality. And we feel that when we're learning, we feel inwardly changed people. As opposed to doing a mitzvah is a garment. It's not changing us from within. I mean, there is some kind of change, but not in the same way as the Torah allows, because that unity that we're having with that divine teachings, that we grasp it, it's encompassing us in our minds, we encompass it, perfect unity, and it's very exciting, very inspiring as a result. That's why it's so important that we learn, daily, so we can have the daily food for the soul that we can give us the inner strength. Because when we have that inner strength, then the challenges of the day are definitely easier to deal with. So much easier to deal with as a result. I mean, that's all those are consequences of this. And I know when I go through some challenging times, so one of the things I do is I'll try to sit and learn and get in. Why? Because perhaps the way I'm thinking is, not from a godly perspective. So if I'm going to learn Torah, it's just going to infuse me and feed me with a godly perspective. It doesn't have to be on the particular issue at hand even, because it's Torah. So it's God's infinite wisdom that even though it may have nothing to do with what I'm particularly going through or struggling or dealing with, but it's God's infinite wisdom, so it's going to feed me. It's going to nourish. It's going to give me His perspective in general. That then can help me rise above whatever I might be dealing with. I'm sure many of you experience this in our daily learning, that you walk away and perhaps the petty things that were bothering you before are not bothering you in the same way, right? Things are much better because God's infinite Torah, you've united and become bound up in a way that you absorb the teachings and a perfect unity with Hashem. All right. Questions, comments, thoughts. Let me see on Facebook over here before I lose the feed. Thank you, everybody, for your well wishes. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, I'm doing well. Thank you. Davida, does our kavanah affect our garments? For sure. Absolutely. John, can one exceed his or her intellectual capacity for knowledge and understanding in Pardes? Yeah, if you work hard. Yes, you could. Very good. Alice, if we learn Torah without expressing it in mitzvahs, where are we holding? Not in the best place. Hopefully it'll come. Hopefully it'll come. But yes, it should be learn in order to bring us to do. How are we connected more to Hashem when we daven or when we study Torah? So we just explained that there's no greater union with Hashem than through the study of Torah. So the union with Hashem is greater through the study of Torah, union. Now, we're going to learn later on when we get to chapters 35, 36, 37, that the purpose of creation is fulfilled through the physical acts of mitzvahs. So we'll get there. There's a difference between the most perfect union with Hashem and the ultimate purpose of creation of a physical world. Two separate ideas. But we'll get there. Right now we're just speaking about union, oneness. No greater oneness. I hope that was clear. Very good question, Davida. Thank you. Anybody here on Clubhouse? Instagram, let me see. Any questions? Okay, thank you. Anybody on Clubhouse? Marcy, Eliana. Anybody else? Share something. All right. Tomorrow we begin the Nefesh HaBahamis, the animal soul, and understanding it. Now that we have a greater understanding of our godly soul. Oh, thank you, Greg. Very nice. Yes, we're connected through prayer, and you know, we've discussed this in the past about prayer, that prayer creates a greater change in the world through healing the sick, bringing, you know, prosperity for those in need. That's absolutely correct. And we learned that at the end of Tanya, in Kudsha Sacharin. But here we're speaking specifically about the unity and the oneness that there's achieved. David is asking a question: when the Alter Rebbe had to choose between a place to go focused on davening versus study of Torah, why didn't the Baal Shem Tov tell him? And it seems that he had to find his own path, and he had to make it his. He had to own it. He had to own it. That's what it seems from our limited understanding. All right, folks. A reminder: Rambam at 1 o'clock, and it's great to be back here at the hub, and look forward for our continued learning and growing together. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zrichen Kadesh in Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Have a wonderful day. Thank you all.